I've known the lead actor Benny Cooper-Smith for I think about 5 years.
Wow.
And he's he's become a very good friend. We were roommates for 2 years, and I've been trying to get him into a movie for a long time. I'm just trying to figure out the right vehicle for him, but I haven't been able to figure it out. And so it's sort of like the build up toward just how can I get Benny into a movie? How can I get him into a movie? Sort of just happened suddenly, just a spark. Like I don't know. It was very weird. I just suddenly was like, wow, I think it's time to make a movie with Benny. What am I going to make? I started feeling that's going to happen. I went over to his apartment, and we just tried to, I tried to come up with a scenario that he had experienced. So we went through stories that he had gone through, but couldn't find anything. I was very frustrated. And then I was like, oh my God, maybe we're not going to make a movie. And then I went home that night, and it just popped into my head. Oh, I just came up with a story. And of this girl who he finds that morning after a party. And then the idea popped in first before I realized why I liked the idea. And once it popped in, then I started developing it with the intention of a couple of things, but namely that Benny's such a generous person. He's got so many friends, and he's so lovable. I mean, he's just unbelievably lovable. But when a person steps on his toes or takes advantage of that generosity that he has, he can get really, really mad. So I thought that here's the way to run the drama is if I can find if this girl is the person who drives him crazy that way and steps on his toes. So that became the drama of the movie. So yeah, I mean that's how I started. That's how I started developing, and I wrote the movie. It's completely scripted except for the beginning stuff at the record shop, which is improvised with those guys. Except for I had coached Benny to do certain. I knew that I wanted him to. We knew that we wanted this other guy Steve to talk about that woman when he's talking about the woman. Yeah. We knew we wanted that, but we didn't tell Steve that, and we just I let Benny sort of guide that at the beginning.
Is he an actor? Benny?
Benny's not, he's not really, he's not an actor at all. I mean, he's been in other Friends movies. He was in a Friends movie before, I think, of his that I don't know.
Right.
But not really. No, he's never acted. He's never really acted before.
Quality about him,
Yeah, he's classic.
You come across with people that are not actors, they're not trained or anything. They have that raw sense of emotionality and feeling, and really, your movie really benefited from that.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah, Benny just by nature is a character. He's a New York character.
Yeah.
And then just by his nature, the way he speaks is
very unique.
Yeah, and it seemed, and at first, the first time I met him, I thought it was like a put on. I didn't think it was real. But then, 10 minutes later, you realize he's the real deal. So he's like this. He's really like he's a deeply human being, but he's also a cinematic character in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very good. How do you usually work? Because now you said that you were frustrated. You really didn't know how to put the story, and then all of a sudden this came to you. What do you do? Does that happen all the time? That just all of a sudden, if you don't expect it, something pops into your head? Because a lot of people, have the same feeling, frustration they go through. What do you do? Do you go out, get inspired then, or do you just sit at a table and brood over it?
Oh yeah. Well, it matters really. Trying to come up with a movie idea just on its own is totally impossible for me. I can't do it. I can't that. That is frustrating to try to come up with something. Usually it's the idea will come out of there's nowhere. It just comes out of nowhere. I won't be thinking about anything, and then I'll have a movie idea. Well, in that case, I was trying to come up with something. Benny couldn't come up with it, and then it came up. But writing itself is sometimes the worst time of my life, and sometimes the best.
Right.
Usually, it's the worst at the beginning of the writing, when I'm trying to just break into the world, and it doesn't seem like it will ever happen, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I do sit there forever.
Right.
I can sit there for days, 3 days, and it's terrible. It's like a nightmare. Right. But then when I'm writing right now. the writing person to person was very fast, and also full of joy. And then, as I rehearsed it and then we started shooting, the script was I felt just total joy. And then the thing I'm writing right now is, I really feel like I'm breaking through on my own with my own material. Like I've never felt the way I feel right now when I'm writing. I feel like a kid.
Okay.
I'm just laughing the whole entire time.
Wow.
I just feel like a child. It's an amazing feeling. I can't believe it's happening.
Great. Yeah. Well,
I can't believe it's happening.
good for you, man.
Yeah.
And so, did you decide just to submit it to festivals? Was that the initial plan also, or did you what was the reason to make it? I mean, you said you wanted to make a movie with him.
Yeah.
Film. Did just like things come together then, and people started talking about it, or
My other films have played a lot of not a lot of international. I played Locarno before with another
Right.
film, and
mostly in the U.S., right?
but mostly in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much European play. I mean, I think Locarno's the biggest festival I've played before. I mean, yeah, no, I think when you're making a movie and when you're definitely making a short movie, I mean, there's no real, for short films, really festivals are the almost end result usually. I mean, in Europe, I guess there's more distribution, but in the U.S., hardly any distribution. So, almost the end result will end up being a festival. So, but I certainly wasn't thinking about. Well, I mean, I made the movie very fast, and I was thinking, well, maybe I can send it to Sundance in time, but I wasn't thinking about any festival.
Right. Well, do you usually submit mostly?
Oh.
I mean, where do you submit mostly to? Because, like you said, you mostly play at U.S. festivals.
I've submitted to European festivals.
Okay. Because it's just interesting.
I don't know if I've ever submitted to Berlin, to tell you the truth.
Okay. It's interesting to us because you are, I think, the only U.S. entry in this year's.
There's another one.
Is there?
Yeah, Afronauts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Totally right. Sorry.
Even though it's the atmosphere is
Right.
African,
Right.
it's still U.S.
You're
She's
totally
still
right.
yeah.
But still, it stands out as the more. I mean, we almost call it like the classical, independent little short. With that Sundance feel to it, which sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. What I'm getting at.
And it also feels very American. The movie is very, very American.
Maybe that's because, why we enjoyed it that much. But so we were wondering, why are not more films like that especially in the Berlinale. And then this year it was just crazy with all those different films and the focus on those experimental films and those audio visual abstract forms. How do you feel that you're almost like an outsider in that field of other films? How do you feel about the other movies, or how do you feel you tie in the whole program?
Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I haven't seen all the programs, so I've only seen 2, I think, out of 5. So I don't know the whole. I don't know what all the other movies are, but I did. But in those 2 programs, yeah, I mean, there were. It seemed like a mix, and there weren't many. I think there were only 2 narratives, or maybe 3. And even the narratives that I saw were somewhat experimental. I feel fine. I mean, the one program I watched was very solid, and then the other one I did have mixed feelings about, but one was very solid. I don't mind one way or the other. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Really. I mean, it's complicated to show. It's complicated to show your short film anyway in a program, but because short programs are difficult in some ways if they're not curated correctly. You're in one world and then you're in the other one, and if you like the other world and then you're into a world you don't like, you can lose the feeling of the one you liked, and it's terrible. But here, what I do like here, which I don't know if this is a European thing because I've never seen it in America, where you have the director speak in between each movie after their movie. We play all the movies and then everybody comes up. Right. And I think this is a much better system because you get a moment to breathe and you get a moment to think about the movie and hear the director.
Unfortunately, at the press screenings, it was like that, like the shows in the U.S. You just have all the movies tied together wall to wall, and so
Yeah.
you don't have a moment to breathe. And which
I see.
is unfortunate, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I like it. I like it the way the regular screens are here.
Definitely.
It's very helpful, I think, to just to go through each world, and to have a moment to think about the world that you just were in. So just by nature, the short programs can be difficult as a filmmaker if you feel. I mean, I've been in shorts programs where I feel like my movie is the one movie that shouldn't be like. I've been in short programs that are really great, where all the movies are very good, but then mine is like the one that shouldn't be there, not based on quality, but just based on just like it's not flowing, like there's no flow.
Okay.
And then but then the same movie can play a different program somewhere else,
Right.
and even some of the movies won't even be as good or whatever, and the flow will be correct, and you're just able to adjust between mindsets. So it's really based on the programmer and the festival and how they end up situating each movie.
What did you shoot on for?
We shot on a 16 millimeter. And we shot on an old Aton camera. I wish I could tell you. I could tell you off camera.
Okay.
Something else.
Okay.
What the camera? It's a special camera.
Okay.
Shit. I can't.
You can't.
It's illegal. What I have to tell you. I can tell you something illegal that you'll like.
Well,
I mean, I really can't because it's not. I would tell you if it was my illegal activity, I would tell you,
Okay,
but it's not
okay.
mine.
No. Well, then,
But remind me.
get you in trouble.
Yeah, remind me. But we shot in a regular 16 Aton camera, and I shot this movie. I mean, the energy of this movie was so ridiculous and fat. Like I felt like we were moving at the speed of light in the most amazing, beautiful, wonderful way.
Right.
Just total joyous. The whole thing was joyous, but. I just didn't have any money. I mean, we spent all the money we had on film stock and processing, and I couldn't find a free 16 millimeter, super 16 millimeter camera, or I would have. I would have shot the movie in 16:9 instead of 4:3, but I couldn't find a super 16 camera, so I ended up with 4:3. You know, I went to a regular 16 camera, so I ended up with 4:3. But now it feels intentional, and it makes total sense.
Definitely.
And in fact, when we were about to shoot, we were like, wait a minute, you can zoom into the frame
Right.
on a 4:3 and make it 16:9, and it'll be more grainy, but you could still do it. But we were like, no, we're not going to do that. But then in post, when I was editing, I was like, man, maybe it will look good in 16:9, even though we didn't leave room for it.
Right.
It'll be okay because all the faces will be close, but it'll be all right. And I tried it out, and for some reason I was like, wow, the story has to be 4:3. I couldn't get it to be 16:9. It was like it changed the mood of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And so now it seems very intentional. But it was sort of that 16 was definitely the intention, but the 4:3 was not pure intention. It was like a force matter. But sometimes force matters become pure intentions. They become the movie. I mean, the movie is what it is, and becomes what it wants to be in a way, and it's sometimes not in your control. And so 4:3 was always going to be it, I guess, but it wasn't me picking the 4:3. You know?
Cool.
Yeah. but but in terms of just high definition, like the high definition image that is very popular now, I find it fine for some movies when I'm watching them. I'm like, okay, I can get into it if the content is good, and they've sort of done it in a sort of better way than other people, or they've done something sort of interesting.
Right.
But for my own work, I haven't figured. I don't know how I'm going to. I don't know how I would do that yet, or why I would do that now. I even shot. I mean, the movie I shot before this, the short I shot before this was on the Sony F3. But my DP, who was Sean Williams, who shot The Black Balloon and Frownland, these movies, and The Color Wheel. He is very careful with those kinds of cameras. He puts filters on and stuff, and so it's not that we're searching with digital, I would never try to like search for a film look. Be very careful. I would be very careful about that. But I'm looking for digital. You know, if I was shooting on digital, I'm looking for what digital is, but to try to get to a place that I like. What I don't like about crisp and clear images that is upsetting me in a certain way that I don't like, which is the when the image looks like it looks like right now, like the naked, like the human eye, like what we see.
Right.
I don't like movies that look like that because there's nothing dreamlike. Documentaries fine,
sure,
but fiction, I'd rather like cinema to look like more dreamlike, because I feel like they are they're more like they feel like dreams when you want,
they're not
or
real,
dreamlike,
you know.
yeah. So there probably is a movie that was shot in fiction that I saw that is an exception to the rule, but for the most part, I don't like them. There's a movie. I mean, one movie that I liked in the last 3 years or 5 years. One of my favorite movies of the last bit was the movie called The Comedy. Mm-hmm. You see this by Rick Alverson? And I think they shot in like the 5D or 7D or something, and that movie is just amazing.
And they had the crisp, clear image, or you didn't mind it there?
No, I think it's because Rick, the director, is, I don't know, he's very tasteful, and his content is so amazing. Somehow it just transcends it, and I guess if I was looking at it completely for the image, I might not. No, I think he really does a good job with it. So some people do, but for the most part, all this stuff is just not pleasing to me. It's not aesthetically interesting. Yeah.
Let's talk about the format, the short film format, just for a second. Because especially this year, you have a lot of those experimental films and films that are really just video installations, you know, and maybe you're just not used to watching it, and you really don't know how to feel, how to think of it. Especially when you see a film like yours, then, you know, that's more traditional, and we talked to some people, and they even said, well, I didn't really set out to make a short film, you know. I had footage that I shot over the course of a couple months or years, you know. I just put it together. So it's really a question about what is art in the end, you know.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that when you talk to people and you see, you know, like you put a lot of effort into your thing, you write a lot, you go through a lot, and then you see different things.
Oh, I see.
And maybe it's in the same competition, you know.
Yeah. I never think about that. I just I mean, I think about it in terms of just the wider scope of films and art. Like if I see, I think if I see a movie that I can sense is careless and not a lot of work was put in or thought, some of that can actually make me very mad.
Okay. That's good.
But
because we did film.
But I don't at a fest. But that is at a festival. Not. I mean, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I'm trying to think of like it hasn't happened to me here, and I'm trying to think of a time in a shorts program where that happened. It definitely has happened. Yes, where I've gone crazy. Yeah. I get very mad. But again, it's a shorts program, and then like you're on to the next movie, but afterward, one of the worst short films I've ever seen, I saw at a very prestigious film festival. Okay. And I have no idea how it got into the festival. Right. But you know, everybody's tastes are different. Sometimes it's a surprise, the taste. Sure. But yeah, I mean, you would hope that people who are you would hope that people who are making movies and people who are getting their films seen are working very hard and care about them making movies and love movies. But probably, I mean, some of the most respected filmmakers right now, I'm thinking about somebody in particular. Sorry, we'll talk about that after. You know, some of the most respected filmmakers working today who might be nominated for Oscars this year seem pretty false. Yeah.
No, but it's frustrating when you see something and people respond to it, you know, in a way, and you just think, well, no, it's really, you know, because we see your film, and it has all those subtleties and that feel and the look and the way it's shot. It's really not. I mean, there is a straight storytelling, and you said it's very scripted, but it had so much room for the story to just unfold. Where nobody's speaking.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, to me, super cinematic. But very, very, very intimate and just personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even a question. I wanted to.
Yeah. Well,
that.
no, but yeah, but I mean, I think, like generally it's. I mean, I don't even understand the art world or art films necessarily. In fact, I've been trying very hard to stop thinking about the concept of creating art because it's fucked up my mind. Like because and part of that is I think when I see art that I'm not responding to, a lot of current art or current films. Artists can get away with a lot by being minimalist or by being somewhat conceptual or something, and maybe they do know what they're saying, but I think you can get away with not knowing what you're saying and letting other people decide what you're saying. I feel like I've gotten to a place where I do know what I'm saying. However, I'm very, very careful of not saying. But I'm trying not to say too much. I mean, I'm being very, very careful to leave plenty of room for the experience of the movie and let the audience decide on in my films, who's right in the situation. And my intention is for people to keep alternating back and forth between the characters, like she's right, he's right, and then they can judge for. But I don't judge my characters, and but I also try very hard to get people to judge them. I want people to judge them and find out what the judgment is.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it when I hear different sides, and in this film, I've been getting men a lot more siding with him, and a lot more women siding with her, which that's what I want to happen. I am pushing that, and that's what I am doing that somewhat on purpose, but I'm also being very careful because I'm not judging either any of my characters, and I'm very careful not to. But I also want the audience to judge them. I am judging them a little bit.
Well, you are,
I know what their flaws are, and I am saying he is, he's not open enough in a way, and she's too open. Yeah. So it's that's where I'm at, But I'm not judging them. However, I'm having audiences judge them, which I want to happen. But so I've gotten to a place where I'm saying things, but I've also previously made movies where I didn't know what I was saying, and I was loose, and I was more loose, and I was just I didn't know what I was saying. I was just doing it, which is fine. And it's figuring out how to make movies.
Right.
But it's better when you do know what you're saying and what you want to say, and not to, to say it out loud, and you don't have to say it. You don't need to be necessarily clear. You don't have to be that clear about it. You can still be a minimalist, and you can still be conceptual. You can still do all that stuff. But yeah, if you don't, I feel like if sloppy work is terrible, and if you're leaving it up to an audience to understand your work more than you do,
that becomes a problem.
Yeah. But the thing is that it does happen though, and it is amazing. When you do start showing your movie, you start to understand the movie more from the audience. I mean, you do get the movies never for me never feel complete until a first screening of a movie with an audience, and then there starts to be a feeling of the movie being done, and it's not done until it's shown. So I do get a lot from audiences, and I learn more about the movie that I sometimes didn't even know. But I would never want them to. I would never build the movie so that hoping they'll understand it.
No.
If something that I don't understand. Yeah.
It's a hard balance to find though. But you did a great job at this. Would you ever? I mean, I don't know what your future plans are and everything, but would you ever consider, just directing, let's say, a very commercial film? Would you be interested?
Good
in
question.
that? Because we have many different things, and people just say no, I can
Right.
do it.
Well, it's very hard to say because I certainly wouldn't want to direct the 90% of commercial movies that stink. But I think there are some commercial films that are probably good. I'm trying to think of some.
But
I think
about
I don't know
giving
what
up
commercial.
the
Huh?
control,
Oh yeah, I know.
People
Well,
just
I know. That's the problem. Is like, that's the problem. Is like, oh no, no. I would not make a commercial movie now, and I wouldn't make a commercial movie that was out of my control.
Okay.
But I'd make a commercial movie that was in my control if I had the power. So if I'm a Wes Anderson or if I'm a Paul Thomas Anderson, well, I guess that's not commercial, but Wes Anderson more commercial.
Well,
or Scorsese
they're
this year
they
with
have
Wolf of
large
Wall
audiences.
Street. Yeah, or Scorsese, who seems to be in control of his movies. No, I don't know. I mean, as a filmmaker, if I can get into a position where I can control my projects, it would be amazing to be commercial.
Right.
But that's the dilemma and the problem. And for me, I would love that. I would love my personal vision to somehow be something that a lot of people would like to see. I don't kid myself though. I don't. The masses are something that I'm not necessarily interested in more. When I was younger, that's all I thought about were the masses. Yeah, sure. I mean, like because it's the old studio system and like the older directors who had such bigger audiences. And now, well, I mean, I just can't imagine that the audiences that go to the bigger blockbusters. I mean, in America, at least, I don't know how it is in Europe, but
Same thing.
I don't expect ever to like reach them unless something magical. I mean, something else. I have no idea how that's going to be possible, unless I end up doing some weird like big comedy. I mean, like that movie. This Is the End. This year, it was this year or last year. I thought
surprisingly
I was
good.
really into that movie.
You're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's not like I mean, I wouldn't necessarily direct a movie like that, but maybe there is something in my future that's like somehow clicks, But that movie was totally awesome to me. I had a great time seeing that movie.
Fun.
And then like The Wolf of Wall Street was a movie I was really into big time this year, which I was very happy about because I hadn't seen. I mean, I have liked Scorsese stuff in the last years. I liked Hugo, but his other stuff I haven't been into.
Yeah.
But I was really into The Wolf of Wall Street, so I was very happy to like have another favorite Scorsese movie show up finally.
That's great.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder. But the problem is, I used to try to fit into the commercial.
Oh, you
I used
did?
to write stuff that's like trying to write something that's going to be the hit.
Does that
or
work?
something.
I mean, because we've
never
been
worked
thinking
for me.
about that. Yeah. Well, does that work?
Ruin my life. Yeah.
Work in terms of because we think if we try to, let's say we really want to get into a festival or something,
Yeah.
and like, write something for it.
Yeah.
Is that gonna turn out to be good work?
I can't imagine it is.
No.
Every time I've tried to do that, I've never really made something. Luckily I've never made the thing that I've tried to write that is like that.
Yeah.
But to me, I imagine there must be filmmakers who can fool me, but I also think that when I see a movie that's like a calling card or a movie that is geared to play festivals, those are the movies I dislike the most, and they sort of stink of it. I can smell it all over them.
Right. And
And I know what those kinds of movies are, and I don't like them at all. I can't stand them. They're my least favorite things. And the movie most of the time at festivals, most of the movies that are the hits at the festivals are movies I don't like, and most of the time they're those exact movies. They're movies that aren't sincere, which is my least favorite thing, is insincerity. They're also sentimental, which I hate.
Yeah.
Sentimentality.
Lots of them.
There are many I mean, to me, sentimentality is maybe the biggest thing going in America.
True.
And the most successful thing, and it works. People seem to love it, and I hate it. It makes me sick because it's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. to be sentimental or to be insincere or any of that stuff is so outside of making a movie. I mean, it's just a false way of creating a. I don't know. It's just I don't understand it. It's stepping outside of the experience of making the movie, and it's. And there's also I just don't. And there's also I mean, I understand what's. I mean, I feel like I can make the hit festival movie or whatever. It seems to be a formula. I totally know what the formula is, and when I see the formula, it's just gross because there's no director behind it. I mean, it's directed by anybody. You could just it could be that you could just replace that name with anybody. It's just it's directed by the person who directed the movie last year. It's the same movie.
Same thing with the big movies. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. The big movies are. I mean, at this point, it's just an endless. I mean, there's no difference. I don't see any of them. And when I do go see something, not a big movie, but when I see one of these other festival hits, usually, I'm just out of the loop or something. I just can't believe it. I usually don't see them at the festival. I see them later on in their theatrical run, and I'm surprised that was the one that people loved and drives me crazy. Because there's nothing special. There's just nothing special about them. There's nothing special. Right. They just seem to be cookie cutter kind of things. And I don't. And if I can get, and if I watch a movie and I can get a sense of how it was, like if I get a sense that I could do it, I don't like it. I like movies where I could. That person. I don't know. I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you see something you could have done, it's like I could have done that. I mean, you didn't.
Yeah. And I could. Yeah.
And I know what you mean. It's frustrating too, Cool. Well, was there an initial spark in your life, or when did you decide I need to do this? Because now.
Making movies.
You seem like director, filmmaker to me that you can't do anything else. You wouldn't be happy. I mean, maybe something, but it's really something you love.
Yeah.
And was there a point where you said, I tried something? Because yesterday we talked to somebody. She never worked a regular job in her life because she got grants and and she never had to work, so she doesn't even know what it feels like to do something else. But how about you?
I've never tried to do anything else with my heart. I've worked a lot,
sure,
just doing stupid jobs for money. I made movies when I was a kid. I didn't think about making them until in high school. I was making them actually, but I never still thought about it as a profession, any kind of profession that I could go into. I was thinking more about theater a little bit, but then no, I don't. I got into cinema late. When I was in high school, I was into only slasher movies. Which is cinema also. But I didn't get into thinking about film as cinema or thinking seriously about movies until I saw Bergman. The first movie I think I saw was Seventh Seal, and then I stumbled into all of his movies, and then just moved on to Godard and whoever. But so it was through them that I started thinking about movies more. Bergman is the spark. Yeah, would be the spark. Other than unconscious stuff. Bergman's the conscious spark. But then, when I was a kid, I saw Gloria by Cassavetes. I was young. I was so young. But that movie was crazy. It's such an adult movie, but I was so with that kid. I was so into the kid. I think I was around that age, and that kind of thing blew me away. I probably saw. I know I saw more important movies when I was younger that unconsciously influenced me. But then I got into slasher flicks, and then that's all I watched, which are important. Halloween specifically, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or The Exorcist, or The Shining. They're all. Well, The Shining wouldn't be. I wouldn't call it a slasher flick, but
no.
those are Halloween specifically is like to me the greatest slasher flick, and that movie is so cinematic and so brilliant. But I did make slasher movies when I was young, when I was a teenager, but they're all just, I mean, they're just terrible. They're not. But I was, but I was doing it, but I wasn't thinking about it as a film or anything like that. I wasn't thinking about it.
The experience.
Yeah, it was just the experience of making it. I wasn't thinking about the craft. There was no craft. There was no craft at all.
Are you self-taught? Or?
Yeah, totally self-taught.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good. Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of people we talk to. I mean, they are into this, university system, everything, networking. But it also seems to me like people who go through that machinery, they kind of lose something gets lost.
Yeah, I think some people. For some people, yeah. I think some people it works. Yeah, I think some people it works, and some people they do lose the. I don't know what film school's like, so I don't know what happens. But there does also seem to be like part of that cookie cutter thing that I was talking about does, I think, come from film school a lot. Some people are able to just go through film school and come out so crafted and amazing. And then I think the other people learn the technical side, and the technical side is the most important thing. And the technical side is, I want it to be more important for me, and I'm trying very hard I try to become more crafted in the technical department, but I've cared so much, so far I've cared so much more about character and actors. And those will still always be primary to me, but I'm trying very hard to be more technical. But yeah, I think a lot of people come out, and I've also worked with people and like other DPs and stuff, and I mean, I want a DP to be a technician, and I want him to know way more than I do, and to show me, and to help me, and to teach me. But I also don't like DPs who put their work over everybody else's. I can't stand that. And then I don't like movies where that's also happening, where the image is so much, you could just tell so much work has been put into the image, way more than the sound, way more than the story. It's the script, which is crazy. And people can get away with it, is all the time. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that I've avoided that completely. But yeah, you see it all the time. Films that look great, and people and somehow trick people into thinking they're good, because they look great. But I like movies that look great too. I want them to look great, but I also want to be driven by the story, or non-story sometimes, maybe, if it's good.
There was I think the year before, it was an official motto, like red thin line that connected all the short films.
Oh.
And it was say goodbye to the story.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what did that mean? That was last year here?
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh, here.
Yeah, here.
And
lots of the films, I mean, they were experimental, but then again, still they had something to it. And it was very, very interesting, and it really appealed to us. It was more of an experience, but there was still thought behind it, but it just guided you through the thing, but you had so much room for interpretation. But it wasn't abstract either,
Yeah.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I just thought of that when you said that. I think this year's motto,
there is one. Okay.
Thin line. It's not a real motto. It's just death and environment. Like death connects us, and I mean, I think almost in every, not that much with yours. That's why it just stood out to us, Yeah, I think that was like the not the official, but the curator's idea of putting it together. It was lots of death and environmental issues and stuff. Dan, do you have any more questions? Thank you. Well, quickly tell us about the just shooting on the camera.
Well, it's just